Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 2 of the doubleheader Week 7. It's the Chargers and the Eagles looking to be a much better game than last night. I am joined by the young thug, AJ Wizard. Say hi.
Hello. And today I think we have a very good game compared to the quote unquote game of the week that was last night.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. But this one shaping up to be a really good one. You've got a pretty good pass rush in the Chargers against a very good offensive line in the Eagles. You've got a good quarterback in Carson Wentz. I think the offenses in this are they're very different because the Chargers run almost all through Melvin Gordon. It's almost everything is Melvin Gordon, Melvin Gordon, Melvin Gordon. If you stop Melvin Gordon, you can more than likely stop the Chargers. Obviously, that's a very hard thing to do. That's why it's not just, oh, let me just stack the box, because they can throw the football. They play around that as well. But this offense does not run through the the quarterback in the same way that the Philly offense runs through the air.
To touch on what you said about the pass rush of the Chargers, I think they are missing a key piece in Joey Bosa today. I don't know what happened with him, but he's just not, and I just know he's not showing up this game for Philly. So I think the Carson Wentz will be a lot more comfortable in the pocket, especially without Joey Bosa getting in his face.
This is true. Melvin Ingram, sorry, is still in the in the game, so it's not like it takes a huge dip in my opinion. Obviously, you don't have the 1-2 punch on the edges, but I mean, I'm predicting a good one. Who do you have in this?
I'm gonna have the Eagles in a close one. I think just coming off that, especially learning from the mistakes of their last, I think it was last week when they played the Raiders and didn't take that field goal to go to overtime. I think they're definitely gonna take that as a learning experience and try. And I think it's gonna be a close game though at OT. They're gonna learn from that and win this game. Now, both teams, I'm pretty sure, are fighting to keep a division lead, with the Chargers having a one-game lead on the Broncos and the Raiders. I'm pretty sure. And Philly just I don't know what their division looks like, but I know they're leading it.
Well, uh, the Eagles, I believe, are currently 2 games ahead of the New York Football Giants, while the Chargers, I know they're 1 game ahead of the Broncos. I believe they're actually 2 ahead of the Raiders. I believe the Raiders are a 2-loss team. Uh, Also, another thing that I want to go ahead and touch base on, Fletcher Cox, and obviously this defensive line for the Eagles. We said so much about this LA team and their front seven. Honestly, I mean this Philly front seven is really good. You've got Derek Barnett, you've got
Brandon Graham,
Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, or Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett,
Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox. You did trade away Sweat, but I don't think that is a huge blow to this team. I think he was just more of a rotational piece, if anything else.
Now, I think it will be interesting to see how this Chargers OC decides to handle O line play, especially with it being that one of their weak points of their team, and the Philly front seven being so good.
Yeah, this is one of the teams that is going to match up really well against LA because like we just said, front seven's going to be front seven for Philly very good, and LA obviously without Will Greer, who went out last week with a ruptured disc. So while this LA team doesn't quite live and die through the air, it's it's just you're gonna have to do something because the weak point of this Philly team is their secondary.
It's definitely gonna be a tough game. Let's see if Nick Mullins can remain composure in the pocket with that Philly front seven coming his way.
All right, opening kickoff is away, and offenses are going to be coming out, well, teams are going to be coming out on the field. Sorry, Philly offense is going to get the ball first, and Carson Wentz going to try and strike first. So
There we go. All right. Let's see. Now, this Chargers secondary is I would say one of the better ones in the league with Desmond King, Derwin James, and Casey Hayward. So let's see how Carson Wentz decides to attack this one today.
looks like they're going to come out in a heavy set. 2 tight ends split out right.
And we have a curl to Arcega Whiteside that is complete for 9 yards.
A great gain to start the game off. Going to put them up to the 34-yard line.
We have only one now coming out in single back. Let's see what.
If you're just a smidge ahead of me.
Oh, by the looks of it, Bosa is out on the field for the Chargers today. That is shocking, especially with the reports that I heard that he was not going to be out on the field.
They may just have forgot to pull him off the depth chart. And looking for Ertz quick. He's up to the 40-yard line, and just like that, they're across the 50.
That's the 26-yard strike by Carson Wentz to his old reliable Zach Ertz.
Yeah, and they just paid this man big money, so I want to go ahead and get him the ball a lot. Make sure that he was worth it.
For the run, Miles Sanders makes a man miss, and he's going to the end zone.
Makes 2 men miss, and he's going to waltz in. Number 26 gets his first touchdown on the game.
Philadelphia with the first strike on today's game. Now let's see what Nick Mullins and the Chargers decide to do on their first offense.
Bill's going to try and take this out. He's going to get up to the 24-yard line. And the drop-off, in my personal opinion, the drop-off from Greer to Mullins is not huge. I think it's enough to maybe rattle you a bit. He did play very well in relief of Jimmy Garoppolo a few years back in San Francisco. But I don't know. That's a very different situation from...
Here we go. I think Mullins definitely showed he can at least have some potential.
Looking deep. Threw it right at his feet. He had more than likely a touchdown if he doesn't miss that.
Mullins misses. Williams streaking down the field.
And just caught it at the shoelaces, unfortunately. Looked like a catchable ball, but you'd like to see that thrown just a little bit further out front. Let your man run underneath it. That's a touchdown. And that's one that just, as he progresses, he's going to hopefully learn from that mistake.
Now, yeah, all right, Mullins takes it, and he is complete to number 88 for the first down.
You tried. You looked. It looked like you looked at your cheat sheet, saw who 88 was, and said, "I'm just gonna say 88."
Yeah. I'm not even attempting to mispronounce that one.
I don't blame you one bit. Gonna hit the quick drag.
Another key injury that I would say is key, especially for the Chargers, is they're missing their second-year tight end Jared Pinnicky, who's ended up going down with a torn shoulder in the end of the Browns game last week, which up until that point he was their number 1 pass catcher.
Yeah, need to see some step ups from mainly from Stills. He's the guy you went out and got in the offseason last year. You want to prove that he was worth the money. Obviously, you don't want to just key in on one guy, but I mean, Keenan Allen, Kenny Stills, Williams. You've got plenty of guys that can make plays. So I don't think losing your good tight end is going to be too big of an issue.
After that, after that 1 yard gain by Gordon, we have Mullins back in the shotgun. See what he decides to do here. He's gonna pass it, and
probably
it's
should have been intercepted.
almost picked off.
Looking for his running back, Melvin Gordon, out in the flat. And
That was
should have
a
been 6 the other way.
That was a questionable throw there by Mullins. I wouldn't have took that throw at all.
No.
We got 3rd and 9, 5 wide.
For the out route. Somehow
Ooh.
Williams is able to come down with it, but can't quite keep himself from going out of bounds. Going to bring up 4th and 3, and it doesn't look like they're going to be going for it. Going to march the punt team out there.
And that, Mike Williams, great play, broke the tackle. He's just got to stay in bounds right there.
And, oh, not quite a good enough punt. Looks like it
Sails
went
out the back of the end zone.
Just barely went out of the end zone. Trying to maneuver that to about the 1 yard line if possible. Just let it go out of bounds. Just had a little too much leg on it. And now Wentz comes back in the gun. Once again, 2 tight ends to the right. Running back Sanders is going to motion out.
Let's take a snap and hits Arcega Whiteside. Hits Arcega Whiteside for the 15-yard gain.
J.J. Arcega-Whiteside with a first down on the short route. That's one thing that Carson Wentz is very good at. He's good at taking what the defense gives him. He doesn't try and do too much like a lot of quarterbacks in this league tend to do. He's not always trying to make that big play. He knows when to chalk it, throw it down, and just let his guys get about 3-4 yards.
I think he's definitely learned that from his history of his being injured and having practice squad guys come in.
Yeah. And give to Sanders this time. Not nearly as good as the 40-yard gain of his first attempt. Just a gain of 2 this time.
Gets up to the 37.
Oh.
All right, we have Chargers are going to play some press. See if any of these Philly receivers possibly break this press or.
Actually going to be a zone look. Wentz going to have to step up and tries to run. Maybe got a yard, if that.
He went in. Wentz did get a yard. Got up to the 38. It's a big 3rd down. Coming up for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and right there, I understand you want to try and make a play, but just go ahead and chalk it. Go to the ground. If you take a loss, you take a loss, but you cannot take a hit right there. Comes back to pass. Wentz buying his time. Goes for Ertz. Not able to hold on to it.
Casey Hayward with the forcing the incompletion.
And laying down the boom on him.
That's a big hit. I think that's a big pass breakup.
Yeah, that would have been a first down and then some. Instead, now LA is going to get the ball back. First down now, 2 tight ends out for the Chargers.
They're going to go with the stretch.
To the left.
And
loss of a yard there for Gordon. He's got 2 carries and no yards to show for it.
Melvin Gordon just got stopped in his tracks right there. That's just perfect play by the linebacker coming up for the tackle for loss.
Yeah, it looks like they've been trying to work him on the stretch. I don't know, maybe you want to try and move him inside now. But 2 outside runs that have given you 0 yards.
All right, got
And
another
just
carry
like
for
that, they
Gordon.
will move it inside.
Takes it up the middle, and I think that's Kruger Hill gets the tackle for
Yeah, gain a 3, so it's better than nothing, but 3rd and 8 still the situation. And now once again you're putting your young quarterback into a 3rd and long situation.
Now, if I were the Chargers, I would. You want to get this 3rd down right here to try and at least get. I don't think they have a. I think they only have one. I think they only have a 1st down this game.
Drops back, looking for Keenan Allen on the right side.
And he's short. He only gets 5.
And gets up to the 30-yard line, and just like that, 3 and out. They're gonna have to punt once again.
I think the big thing for each. I think the big thing now for each team though for winning this game is definitely on that clock.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a pretty defensive-sided battle. At least if LA's defense is able to hold them the way that they did on the last drive. Obviously, the very first drive, they just kind of let them march up and down the field like it was nothing. But that being said, LA is going to have their defense step up, because I don't think you can trust Nick Mullins to score 28, 29 plus points in a shootout against Carson Wentz.
Nick Mullins is that he's the guy that can barely get you what he needs you.
Yeah, he can get you there. He's not going to look flashy doing it, but he can at least get you where you got to go.
All right, we have a 6-yard reception by Alshon Jeffrey, and he goes out at the 22.
Yeah, nice 1st down, and that's what Philly's been doing so much better than LA, winning 1st down. They've been getting 4, 5, 6+ yards, whereas LA's average, I don't think they've averaged a single yard on their
Play
first
action.
down plays.
He hits Arcega Whiteside on the out route.
And JJ Arcega Whiteside once again up to the 37-yard line. Like he might have had something over the middle. That linebacker bit down really hard. Instead, going to take the out route. Either way, it's a 1st down nonetheless.
Now we have Carson Wentz coming out 5 wide on the 1st down.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that this is going to be a pass.
I wouldn't think it'd be a QB draw unless unless we're seeing the offensive play call from that Super Bowl win that Philly had.
And looking over the middle for Ertz. Once again, it's broken up. Looks like he's just kind of throwing it just a little too high, looking for Zach Ertz. He's done it twice now, and he's gotten hit and lost the ball both times.
This time the pass is broken up by Derwin James.
Yeah, he's always reliable in forcing those big hits. Lays down another one on Zach Ertz right there. And now forget what I said last time about their winning 1st down. Nah, 1st down, they try a shot play that goes nowhere. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
I want to see a little bit more of Philly running the ball.
I mean, he's only run it about, 2 times right now with Miles Sanders. There it is, right on cue, 3rd time. He's going to hit it up through that C gap on the left side.
Right here, I think 7-yard gain.
Yeah, nice 7 yards. Takes it from 2nd and 10 to 3rd and 3. Makes it 3rd and very manageable. And you can do almost anything from 3rd and 3. I mean, you can run a play action, you can run the football, you can pass. It's a pick your poison. Offensive coordinators love those 3rd and shorts.
I wouldn't be surprised if Philly goes with another run with Miles Sanders here. Just catch the Chargers defense a little bit off guard, especially because Philly's been showing us past tendencies. And I think we're gonna have a delay game here from.
I'm not quite sure what happened this time around.
Maybe he didn't realize how much time was left on the play clock. That's just that's something that can't happen. Now it's backed up to a 3rd and 8, and now
it looked like the offensive coordinator was saying that his microphone wasn't working.
I think if you're the head coach right there, though, you have
wasn't
to
able to get the
call a
play
timeout.
into Carson Wentz. You kind of wonder why they don't try to call the timeout.
We'll come 3rd and 8, 3rd and manageable now. Comes 3rd and long. We have
Wentz drops back. Had Alshon
hits.
Jeffrey over the middle, but instead he's going to look for, I believe that's the rookie. If I'm not mistaken, it's Hill. Yep, the rookie on the right side.
That's the, I want to say that's the 3rd out route that's been hit. Chargers, I think the Chargers defensive coordinator has to get better at guarding these outsides.
And I want to point out that they had him double covered. Derwin James and King were both on him. And he still was able to beat him with the out route. Still having some play calling issues from the Philadelphia side.
Now we have Miles Sanders, and he runs into his own lineman. Whew, I think that could have been possibly a first down if he didn't run it.
Yeah, either way, I mean, 6 yards still. So, able to fight his way forward for, I believe it was about 4, maybe 5 extra yards after the contact.
I think it's going to be a very, by the way, it looks at least right now in this first quarter, I think it's going to be a very long day for this Chargers defense.
And they got to make something, they've got to make some changes in a hurry, too. Wentz audibles out into shotgun.
We have a screen pass to Sanders here. Gets to the outside and he gets it up to the 38. Ooh, and we have a man down on the field. He looks like he's clutching his ribs. I think that's his ribs.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding his ribs.
And we have a third and short here for the Philadelphia offense. So, let's see. I mean, like you said earlier, this is going to be a pass, run, play actions, anything really.
You can do whatever almost whatever you want here.
And I think this is probably going to be a pass. If I had to go and take a guess.
Running back motioning outside. Hightower out to cover him. It's going to be a short pass to Arcega-Whiteside. And that's going to be the 31-yard line.
And we just got a report. Miles Sanders will not be returning to this game with broken ribs.
And he looked devastated heading into the tunnel. They were carrying him off on a cart. Probably headed to the hospital here in Philadelphia. If not being airlifted back to LA for surgery. Not quite sure exactly how bad things are.
That's a quick out route that's taken to the house.
As we were talking about the injury, number 3 tight end's just like, hey, I don't care about this injury. Give me the football. I'll run it for him.
That's just
blew right past everyone. I don't know what this defense is doing right now because they have been fairly good this past year and just not showing up today at all.
Exactly. It's just like right there. No one even was paying attention to him, and he's just a free catch and run into the end zone. Now, after that was a pretty long offensive drive by Philadelphia.
If anything, you're at least happy that the LA offense is going to be nice and refreshed on that sideline. They've gotten plenty of Gatorade or Powerade, whichever their preference is, or water. And I mean, that's the only good thing about that drive. Like you let them just march up the field, long drive, take plenty of time off the clock. Like there's almost no upside. LA, we were talking about how big Melvin Gordon is. They have run for just 6 yards now after that run.
On 4 carries. Now, maybe you can see what we saw last week in the Browns game where Melvin Gordon didn't really start getting going until the second half.
It took them a long time to get Melvin Gordon going.
But I mean, especially in a game that holds this much weight, you want your going as quick as possible.
And looking for the out route this time to Williams. He's got open field, and he's going to get up to the 48 as the first quarter is going to wind down. Going into the second quarter, it's all Philly right now, but hopefully LA fans will have something to cheer about with this drive, as they look to finally be almost on the other side of the 50. About to run their just 11th play in this first half.
Oh, and he hits Keenan Allen on the out route.
I don't know how Keenan Allen caught that. It looked like he was going to have his tight end over the middle if he just gave it a little bit of extra time, too. And instead, it's 14 to Keenan Allen. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how, because I don't know how he made that catch.
I think that was Sidney Jones on the coverage. That's just bad coverage right there. You need to maybe try and get a hand in there or something. Keenan Allen could just do whatever he wanted to Sidney Jones.
He was pretty good last year, but he was only good in the slot. He was on the outside that time, not able to keep up with Keenan Allen.
An outside stretch to Gordon, and Gordon to the end zone.
One-man miss. Able to make the second guy take a bad angle too. All the way to the house.
Now I think that might be the start of the Melvin Gordon offense that we all know and love here in LA.
Yeah, maybe finally getting something going. Drops it down to a 7-point game. Only take a minute 16 off that clock. And now you need your defense to go out there and do something.
Now, if you're LA, you gotta force a quick 3 and out here from the Philly offense. You can't have another 4 or 5 minute drive that they had last offensive drive.
Yeah, there's no way. You don't want to be giving up 9, 10 play drives. Your defense is not going to be able to hang with that. Wentz on the pass, able to get it to Alshon Jeffrey. Quick strike for about 12 yards.
Now we have a heavy set here for Philly.
3 tight ends, just the one receiver to the left. That's Alshon.
Now he gets his number 87 catches at the 40 for a quick 3-yard gain.
I believe that was the man that got the touchdown earlier in this game. Oh, it was not. I'm sorry. Is that their number 2 tight end? I believe that's their number 2 tight end, not their number 3.
I think Goddard is the number 2 tight end behind Ertz. I think it was the number.
And then Goddard is the one that got the touchdown.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Goddard.
Okay.
It was the
Someone's
same
hurt then.
Kennedy Brooks brings it up to the 50-yard line.
My first carry for the backup running back, and this drive is going nowhere near what we were saying needed to happen. And it looks like that defensive coordinator is furious, telling them to fucking hit someone or something. He wants them to play more aggressive. They're really coming out very weak right now.
It's just this Philly offense is having their way with the San Diego the LA defense. And we have a QB draw here for Carson Wentz, and ooh, that's a questionable hit right there that Carson Wentz just took.
Once again, I mean, that's twice now that Wentz has just stuck his head down and taken the shot. He's had some injury history in the past. I don't know why you're not sliding down, trying to avoid that.
Especially that hit came from Derwin James, who last season had 7 forced fumbles. If I'm a quarterback, I don't want to take a hit from Derwin James.
No.
And Alshon goes over. I think, who is that?
Up and over. Number 24.
Well, you could say Tyrell Williams. That's who it was. Tyrell Williams got lost. That's just Alshon showing his big body and showing his dominance onto Tyrell Williams.
And now first down, 2 tight ends right, 2 wide receivers to the left.
We have an outside run.
Stretch play to the right. Decent blocking, but an unnecessary spin to try and hit the hole. Only going to get Hill 5 yards.
He would have had. I think he would have had more. I think he would have got more yards. He just kept taking it outside.
I agree with the decision to cut in. I mean, it's hindsight's 2020, but if you're gonna try and cut in, just stick your foot in the ground and go. There's no reason at all to try and do that fancy spin.
We have Zach Ertz wide open, nobody around him, and Zach Ertz is gonna take.
Busted coverage to the max. This LA defense is just coming out flat-footed in this first half. They've got to make some big halftime adjustments.
That's one person I wouldn't leave with no one around him either. That's number one target right there in Philly. Zach Ertz.
It looked like man coverage. I don't know what broke down. I don't know if the linebacker that was on him just forgot to play coverage, or if he was looking up in the stands at someone, like he saw his mom in the background. I don't know what was going on.
Now it's another delay of game here for Carson Wentz. That's the second one of the game now. It's you gotta be wondering if they maybe got to change the batteries or something on the headset of the offensive coordinator. All right, and the PAT is up and good, and it'll extend this lead to 21-7.
LA's got to come out and get something going.
So this LA offensive coordinator, I mean, you gotta have a drive like last quick strike 4 plays, get you 7, and you gotta try and get that deep. If I was a defensive coordinator, I'd be screaming on the sideline right now. All right, and the kick is off. Now we have, and she's gonna go out the back of the end zone.
It looks like we're going to have a little TV timeout as we
Run the commercial breaks.
we're going to have a quick commercial break. I believe one of our cameras is having some issues, so we're going to try and get that one fixed. But takeaways currently through this about quarter and a half of play so far.
It's just LA offense is taking a little bit too long to get started here, and the LA defense is not their day to day. Maybe after this TV break, with the camera getting fixed, that it'd be a totally different defense walking onto the field.
Yeah, I mean between needing your defense to step up and I mean finally getting something going from Melvin Gordon took you a lot longer than you would have liked to get Melvin Gordon going. It took about 3 series to finally get something. And I mean, it was honestly just one play still. So I'm not going to say that he's completely back. I'm not going to say that he's back going right now. Like, you need something out of Mullins. He's done good, but he has not done great. So you need to see better play out of Nick Mullins in the rest of this game.
Oh, I wouldn't even say that you need great play out of Nick Mullins. At least like you need some decent play, like some. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say Nick Mullins is a caliber of a starting quarterback. That's why I wouldn't expect great play out of him. It's just that you gotta throw Nick Mullins. You gotta throw him a bone here.
I just need to see some smarter play calls and some smarter decision making.
All right, and we are back live here in Philadelphia.
All right, LA gonna come out.
And
Two tight end set, base A formation, base ace. Sorry.
we've seen this formation multiple times here from the Chargers defense. I wouldn't expect nothing less than a stretch coming from Melvin Gordon here. Oh, it's in a pass.
It's gonna drop back. Getting hit
And
as he threw, and Williams able to come down with it.
Mike Williams overpowering Avonte Maddox right there. That's just
Great catch by him. It looked
great
like Nick
ball
Mullins was
placement,
just completely trusting his guy. Rush was starting to get there. You could tell that he didn't really feel all that comfortable in there.
I'm gonna go and say that's a great ball placement too by Nick Mullins. He put that ball in a spot by where Avonte Maddox could barely even get a fingertip on it.
Yeah, the best thing you could have hoped for was to just get it out there towards, maybe as he was bringing it to his body, maybe you're able to punch it out, but that's all.
Looks like we have another quick break here.
And we got some commentators trying to steal our thunder.
Have him turning them all the way down. All right, now I think we're gonna be fully back underway in Jeezum.
In Jesus.
It's by the way, it looks like we're having a little bit of trouble coming back to the field. All right, now there we go. Finally. Finally, where did we left off? Oh yeah, Mike Williams overpowering Avonte Maddox for our first down. Now
Oh yeah, that happened. All right, Nick Mullins now in the gun. Melvin Gordon split out to the right of him.
We have the ball
And
at
it will
the
be a
46
play action call, looking deep over the middle.
And
Flag thrown, looking for Keenan Allen. That's going to be on, was that on Avonte Maddox?
It was on Avonte Maddox as pass interference.
Looked like he was frustrated from the last play still. Trying to make sure it didn't happen. Instead, you're just going to give it to him up to the 34.
Keenan Allen beat him off the line, and Avonte Maddox was just trying at all costs not to give up the catch, but it ended up costing him more yards.
Doing whatever he could to not. It looked like he probably thought that that was going to go for 6 if it does get caught. So I think if you're forced into a situation of PI or touchdown, obviously you take the PI. But
we have Nick Mullins here.
Blitz coming. Mullins going to look deep down the right side. Double coverage. He had a man on the left side with nobody around him. He would have had an easy first down. Instead, he tries to throw it deep down the right. Trying to throw the home run ball, get it all back in one play. Going to bring up second down.
All right. Oh. That's just got to be better awareness here from Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins, they're on the Philadelphia 34. And
back to pass. Gonna take a sack.
Fletcher Cox.
Coming in from the middle.
It looks like Nick Mullins did try to take off there, try and get it with his legs, but Fletcher Cox had something else to say about that.
Yeah, no way of getting outside with the contain, and there was just nowhere to run up the middle.
All right, we're coming up 5 wide for Nick Mullins here.
5 wide on 3rd and 14.
14. I mean, if I was Nick Mullins, honestly, I'd just try and get some yardage, make the field goal easier for my kicker.
Worst case scenario, you're at least going to get 3. And going to move into the bunch ace formation. And looking over the middle to his tight end. He's got the first down.
He powers forward for the first.
Just barely able to get there. Now ball on the 24. 2 minutes until the 2-minute warning. And Mullins, pressure coming once again, and he's going to go down this time. Derek Barnett.
Barnett with the sack.
Second sack of this game, both coming from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now let's see. I think that's just something that's a reoccurring problem here. It's sacks taken by the LA quarterback instead of line. They tried to beef it up with the additions of Gilbert in the offseason, but by the looks of it, it's just not working out.
Enough. Mullins drops back looking for his running back. And not able to get Gordon going in the running game. Might as well get him going in the pass game.
Drops it off for 9-yard gain here for Gordon.
Makes 3rd and 4. Back into that third and manageable.
By Nigel Bradham. Wait, what?
Bradham, the superstar over the middle, able to make that tackle. Not many people are able to keep Melvin Gordon from slipping away, but Bradham's able to do it. And 3rd down now, looking outside. Still's able to come down with it one-handed. It looks like it's whoever offense on Maddox right now in the passing game, as he got mossed.
Maddox again.
He got mossed twice and drew a PI once on that drive. Makes it 21-14.
Now that's Maddox. I mean, I think that's just bad placement by the defensive coordinator, putting in such a. No offense to Maddox, he's only 5'11". I would not put Maddox.
No.
You're just setting Maddox up for failure at that point to be absolutely posterized.
And Wentz now coming out 5 wide. Probably see this a lot more with Miles Sanders going down. And drop back to pass, gonna just hit the drag route to Ertz. Something you don't see very often. Ertz trying to spin out of a tackle. Not gonna work. The big man does not have the moves. He's just going to get 6 yards. You'd like to see Ertz just lower the shoulder right there. I mean, he's a big man. Just run him over.
I'd rather see Ertz put out the stiff arm, make him look like the Heisman. And then Philly's going to take it here to the 2-minute warning. At the 2-minute warning, we have Philadelphia with the ball on their own 7 up 7.
Yeah, Philly's got LA Chargers. Philly's got to ice not this game, but at least this quarter. You need to draw out as much clock as you can because LA is going to get the ball at half. You want to score, but you don't want to score too quickly and give this offense a chance because, I mean, what happens if they go out there and score?
And that just defeats the whole purpose of the drive that happened here. Ooh,
Thomas is going to get a big hole. So much for icing it. Thomas is just going to take it all the way. So,
with these 72-yard run, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 72, 73-yard run right there.
And good news, bad news. I mean, great run. You're up 28-14 now. You only took 44 seconds off the clock, though, and LA's offense looks to finally be clicking. You could still be going into half at 28-21, and you could be getting the ball back tied up.
Now, I'm LA here. I'm just gonna go down, try and score some points. Best case scenario, get a touchdown, but I wouldn't mind settling for the field goal.
Yeah, if you have to settle for a field goal, if you're gonna settle for a field goal, it has to be with very little time on the clock. Don't go out there and be taking shots and give Philly enough time to make something happen.
Start off throwing with Gordon here, and he's met at the line by Bradham.
He's got 45 yards, but I think about 40 of it has come on one play. I'll bring up a 2nd down now. Mullins still in the gun. Taking a lot of time off that clock. Looks like they might just be content with just taking this to half.
And
he
tried. He hit Gordon over the middle.
Don't know
I think
how he caught that. Gain of 4 yards.
gain of 4, and it's like you have 3 timeouts if you're LA. I mean, you had a minute like 30 on the clock. I don't know
If you have
what they were
three,
doing holding the ball for that long.
if you have 3 timeouts, if you're Philly though, aren't you taking one right now? Maybe you could get the ball back with a decent amount of time on the clock. Make this a 3-possession game.
All right, we have Mullins coming up 5 wide here.
And stack to the left.
Again, with them chewing down this clock, it just looks like they're not even going to make it a touch. I don't know.
I got a man over the middle. It's going to be Williams.
Williams gets it across the 50 and gets it up to the Philadelphia 43.
And they're going to call the timeout there. It looked like they were trying to make sure that if they did have to punt, there would be very little time left.
Yeah.
Which is a smart move. Obviously, if you get the first down, maybe you're thinking, oh, well, what if we could have scored? Yes, but if you throw an incomplete pass, you're giving them an extra 40 seconds. First down now. And Mullins not able to get that one off. Going to take a sack.
Fletcher Cox coming in for the second sack of the day. That's 3 now for this Philadelphia defense.
And now you wonder, maybe with 1 timeout, you're more than likely not going to score a touchdown. Should you have maybe just run the football on that first down, get yourself into a better field goal situation?
I mean, you're on the Philadelphia 49. There's still hope for. So I wouldn't completely give up hope for 3 points. But it's just a matter of how the Chargers want to play this.
Got back to pass, looking over the middle for Allen. He's up to the
Allen's gonna get all the way down.
27, I believe, 28-yard line. They're going to call the timeout with 10 seconds left.
Now, if you're LA, do you try and take at least 1 shot to the end zone and just take 1 shot to the end zone, or do you just take your 3 right here?
I'm not doing that. No way in hell I'm doing that. You've taken 3 sacks already in this quarter alone. Obviously, you didn't take many in the first quarter, but you also only called 10 plays. Like,
oh, by the looks of it, though.
They're going to come out and try it, but I mean, I don't trust it at all. I would much rather just...
Especially 5 wide with Fletcher Cox coming straight at you.
Looking deep into double coverage. Incomplete.
Almost intercepted. I think almost intercepted by Sidney Jones.
It should have been intercepted, and maybe you can fight for a flag, possibly, but trust Keenan Allen. He's double covered.
And it wasn't Sidney Jones. It was Cravon LeBlanc with the deflection. Now, I think smart play. You should have just took it right here and not even wasted time with that play and just take your field at 3. Michael, it's up and it's good.
And now 1 second left on the clock. Probably just going to see a quick squib, and go ahead and take it to half.
Barring any miracle here, taking in the half, 28-17. Philadelphia up.
I don't think Philly's going to do that. We're not in the Meadowlands.
Oh, and it's a big kick.
It's actually going to be a deep play. Gibson going to take it out instead of.
And yep, going into the half, 28-17. Now, if you're Philly, what do you take away from that?
Good play until about midway through the second quarter. You kind of folded there in the second. You started out hot. You let LA get 17 points. So I think your offense is fine. You have no worries on offense.
Defense is a little bit questionable.
Defensively, you have looked okay. Not great, but not terrible.
Now, let's see if the
halftime adjustments are going to work.
Chargers can come down and make this a 1-score game. Now they seem to be starting to find their stride in the second half, and that's
play action had Williams on the left side, but Malik Jackson's going to get in.
That's the 4th sack now on the day, and it seems to be what I predicted has come true. Is that this offensive line is going to be a problem for the Chargers.
Yeah, if you ask me, LA has the better as pass, kind of sails there. Safety's able to just knock it down.
I think that was target towards number 88.
Yeah, Emma Bundamada.
In-
But going back to that play action, he had Williams. It just looked like coming out, he didn't. It wasn't quite his first attempt.
Screenplay
Screenplay snuffed
and
out
out.
entirely. There was about
Out.
5 people right next to him.
Melvin
And
Gordon does come down with the catch, but that catch is as good a complete as it is incomplete. Went nowhere, and LA's gonna punt it from shadow of their own goalpost.
good punt though. It's gonna get out at the 23.
No return here by Gibson. Goes out at the 23. Now, if I'm Philly, I'm just at this point I'm trying to take a 2-possession tell me if I'm wrong. 3-possession lead if they get a touchdown here.
It will be a 3-possession lead. It's an 11-point game right now.
3-possession. Ooh. I think it might be a holding call.
No, it's going to be a face mask.
Face
Desmond
mask.
King coming in late gets a little bit of the face mask. Didn't look like he got a whole lot of it.
Just on top of the 9-yard completion, you have another 15 yards added on top. Now, if I'm the Philly offense here, I'm trying to go for a touchdown. Oh,
Hill bounces it outside. He's going to make one man miss. He's got one man to beat.
Oh,
not able to cut inside.
Tackle. I think it was Casey Hayward on the touchdown saving tackle.
Tried to cut inside of Casey Hayward, and he was able to snuff that out. Gets him all the way down to the 13-yard line.
Now, though, if you're Philly, though, this game, if you get score a touchdown here, all offensive drives after that, I think at that point it's all managing this clock and trying to take as much time off the clock as you can. And a pass here from Carson Wentz, and he's going to hit outside, and it's going to be picked off! Casey Hayward Jr. coming down with it. The target was Dallas Goedert.
Looking for his tight end. Looked like he just put it a little bit low. LA defense finally going to step up. This is what you needed almost all of the first half. And Melvin Gordon, he's got a hole. He's up to the 30. He's got one man to beat. Doesn't have enough speed. He's going to catch him at the 47-yard line. As now, aside from 2 big runs, Melvin Gordon has had a very bad night. But these two big runs has made it look like he's just running all over this team. I mean, remember, there was a time where he had about 6 yards on 4 carries. Now he's at 7 for almost 100.
Now it's the RPO here for Keenan Allen, and that's up to Philadelphia 43.
And across the 50. LA has to have a touchdown here. I think if you had a little bit more time into the first quarter, you're probably able to score there. Instead, you wound the clock, got the field goal, which I think is a smart play too. Obviously, like I said, hindsight is 20/20. But
I think the weakness of this Philadelphia
cuts him once.
And
able to make one man miss. I think he got the second one. He's gonna get it. Touchdown. Melvin Gordon finally coming into his own. 2 runs on that drive to make it almost all of the yardage that they needed. And
that's just nothing. You expect nothing less out of Melvin Gordon right there. Does what he usually does. Makes man miss.
Mullins in the offense gonna stay on the field for the 2-point try and make this a 3-point game. Cross back looking for the tight end. They're gonna find him for the 2-point conversion. 28-25 now.
Wow, what a complete defensive collapse from Philadelphia here in the half. It's what used to be a game that was 28-10. It's now it's a 3-point game.
Actually, I believe it was 28-14 because the field goal came at the end of the half.
Oh, yeah.
So it was 28-17.
Oh, that's still quite some points that we're still a 2-possession game. Now it's down to 3 points.
And remember, you forced him to go 3 and out at the start of the half. Like, you
And
think you're
off to
able to
Thomas.
take that momentum and just run with it. Instead, Carson Wentz just, I don't know if it was just a bad decision or what. I don't know if he didn't see him, but tries to fit it into his tight end, gets intercepted. All of a sudden, it's a 3-point game. As Hill going to get 5 yards and a first down there up to the 36-yard line.
Now, if you're this Philly offense, I wouldn't. You gotta come out and just not turn the ball over. Hopefully,
I
get some
mean,
points.
worst case scenario, you've got a punt. You cannot be turning this football over like that, obviously. But I mean, if you need a perfect example, the game earlier this week with Atlanta, that offense was humming. That offense looked really good, honestly, as far as the passing game is concerned. But you threw 6 interceptions and blew it. As Brooks up the middle, up to the 46-yard line.
Gets up to the 46 and cabs the first down for this Philly offense.
And I think after the interception, that's what this offense is going to start running on. Especially if they're going to come out 3 down linemen. You're going to come out with that every time. But
definitely think the key to this Philly win is going to be running that ball more. I mean, Carson Wentz is a phenomenal quarterback, but you can't just rely on him the whole time.
And Wentz drops back looking for his running back deep. Way too deep. He hit that in the end zone out of bounds instead of on his man. If that's on his man, it's still a tough catch. I mean, there was about a football-sized hole that he had to fit that into. So I'm not going to get onto him too much for throwing that too far. Because, I mean, hey, if you throw it too far, it can't get intercepted.
Yeah, exactly. That's just a shot. You eventually got to take some shots down the field to keep the defense guessing.
Goddard in motion now to the left side. And this would
be
be a
handed
run
off
to that left
Hill.
side.
And Hill brings it up to the 37.
He's just about a half-yard short.
13 inches. If I'm Philly, I'm honestly running that ball again.
Wentz hurries up to the line.
On 3rd inches, see what Philly decides to do with the ball.
And
they're gonna go with a
run it. They're gonna try and screen pass, and it's gonna fall incomplete. Had to throw it a little bit sooner than he would have wanted to.
Think the running back got bumped on his lineman, which caused them be a little bit off timed with the screen.
Yeah, 4th and inches now. A field goal does you no good. 37-yard line, 4th and inches. There's no reason not to go for it, in my opinion. If you give him the ball, it's like a good punt at the 37-yard line. Well, not a good punt. It's like a mediocre punt. It's now out of the gun. He's going to drop back to pass. Looking for his running back. He's able to make a man miss.
Oh!
Takes a huge shot from Derwin James.
What a big play by the running back. Running back shrugs off the defender, which would have tackled him behind the line.
It looked like the defender, for some reason, he was trying to intercept that. I think he saw 6 points instead of just trying to knock it down and give his offense ball. He tried to go ahead and give him the lead right then and there. Makes the catch, not able to come down with anything, and Wentz, I believe that was intended for Arcega-Whiteside, falls incomplete.
Wentz tried the low pass though, which I don't know why, especially with how no one around him.
He had there was no threat of anything. Like, it's an obvious first down. If he's just able to lay it in there, just Wentz trying to do a little bit too much. And speaking of trying to do too much, the drag route's there. Instead, he pulls it and tries to run. He's going to take a sack.
Hillary with the first sack for this LA defense.
That's going to bring up 3rd and 11 yards now.
3rd and 11 here. It's you're on your Chargers 35. It's
Chargers
So
35. I mean, if you kick the field goal, you at least knocked a little bit more time off the clock. So silver lining, but
think he's
looking deep
gonna
down the
have.
middle, it's
No,
intercepted. No,
intercepted!
no field goal. As Trent Williams is gonna come
Yeah.
down with this.
And that's another costly red zone pick for the Philadelphia offense.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to float that one in. Probably should have just bulleted that over the top, put it out in front of your man. Instead,
I
try to
think
get cute, underthrow it a little bit.
he had. I think he had Ertz open the middle, over the middle. But
And
look at
instead, he looked for looking for the touchdown.
Gordon's stat line. He used to have 4 rushes for 6 yards. Now he's at 9 rushes, 35 yards on the day. What a complete turnaround from him.
Yeah, 2nd and 6 now. Gordon gonna move over to the left side of this offense.
We have a bunch on both sides of the line.
And Mullins
He's gonna try
not
and
able
fit
to
it
get
in.
in there.
Pass
Looks like
is
he had
protected.
83 on the outside. Instead, he looked for the deeper route. I'm not sure if he was actually looking for him or if it sailed a little bit.
Knocked down by Cravon LeBlanc.
And he had stills on what possibly could have been a first down if he's able to make one man miss or just get there fast enough. Instead, tries to get the first down all through the air.
LA, I don't want to spoil this. I want to spoil the great field position that not great field. I don't want to spoil the opportunity that my defense gave me.
Now, it was not great field position. You're in the shadow of your own goal line, but you did. And I believe we've got encroachment here. There will be Brandon Graham on the left side.
Now you go from a third and medium to now a third and short. Shouldn't we run anything? Which Brandon.
I think almost everyone in the building right now knows that this is going to Melvin Gordon.
Yeah. I think though that if you're Brandon Graham, you gotta be hitting your helmet right there. I mean, you're a veteran player.
It will go to Gordon. He's going to get up to the, I believe that's the 26-yard line for the first down. It looked like there was a free rusher there. I don't know if he realized that his shoe was untied or something whenever he came through there. I think his eyes just widened about time that he got through. He was so surprised that he got through and had a free shot at Melvin Gordon as Melvin Gordon was, and nothing came of it. And running play here, this is going to be to Leonard Fournette, the new acquiree out of LSU from last year. That's going to go for no yards.
Stopped in his tracks.
Officially, it's going to go down as no gain, but unofficially, it goes from about the 25.5 to the 25. Loss of a couple of inches.
We are going to have a bunch on the right side here. Chargers.
Under center.
See what LA decides to do on 2nd and 10. We're going to run a little bit of clock here.
Going to wind this down.
A pass.
Mullins, nobody in the vicinity of Williams. Easy first down there. It's Williams on the drag.
Now, I'm curious as to why LA is starting to drain some clock here.
Maybe there was just a little bit of miscommunication between Mullins and the rest of his guys. Had to make sure that they had the play call correct. Not entirely certain. Now this will be the last play of this third quarter.
And it is handed off to Melvin Gordon, and Melvin Gordon makes one man miss, but he is met in the backfield by Ruger Hill.
That'll bring it up. Four's up here in Lincoln Financial on the 36-yard line. Philly trying to hold on to a 3-point lead as LA is trying to drive after interception. For LA, you've only really had a few big plays in your offense, and that's been it. You haven't been able to have a sustainable long drive that you've been honestly trying to do right now. It's been either a shot play or a big run. I'm
Gonna
looking for.
dump it off back here in Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's just gonna
Yeah, a
35.
little bit antsy. I believe that those sacks earlier on in this game is starting to get to him. Would have had a man
Um,
over the middle deep.
I want to say that reception was for a loss, because it goes from 3rd and 11 to now 3rd and 13, 2nd and 11 to 3rd and 13.
Yeah, and that's something that'll come with time for this young guy. I mean, he's only been a starter for like half a season. He hasn't had an entire season under him yet. So hopefully, as the games progress, he'll be able to pick up on that.
Just gets it off, and he's gonna dump it off here to Kenny Stills, but Kenny
Ooh.
Stills can't hold on to it.
He can hang on to it with one hand, but with two guys hitting him at the same time, two hands not able to bring it in. I believe it would have still been a yard shy, but
Yeah, I mean, you're Kenny Stills though. It's like, I mean, even if maybe you would have got the first down, you could have maybe pushed for it, but you just gotta drive that ball and bring it into your chest and hope to just fall back onto the first down.
bright side though, LA is able to down the punt at the 8-yard line, get it out of bounds.
Really in the shadow of their own goalpost. See what they decide to do first 10. They're gonna hand it off.
Makes
And Tom's
one
gonna
man
bring a
miss,
tackle, but
and I
Desmond King,
believe Desmond King
second.
again, second face mask of the night.
Thomas was ripped down by that face mask. I'm surprised he doesn't have a little bit of whiplash after that one.
Yeah, you'd think Thomas would be headed to the sideline after something like that. Actually, he will. Hill's going to check in.
Play action now to Hill. And
Hill's open in the flat.
Carson Wentz gonna dump it off the Hill. Great awareness by Carson Wentz up there to motion his man upfield.
And that's going to bring up another first down. Philly has to get points on this drive. I know a field goal still makes it a one-possession game, but just anything. You've come out completely flat-footed in this second half. You've turned the ball over twice now. Like, something's got to give. You've got to get some kind of points back on the scoreboard. You can't come out here and just lay a goose egg in the back half of this game.
He's gonna hand it off to Kennedy Brooks. And Kennedy, I think it's gonna be a holding. Well, yep, holding.
J.J. Arcega-Whiteside on the left side.
At least gives you an opportunity to repeat down.
Yeah, true, but now it's 1st and 18 from 1st and 10. I much rather would have had just a 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8. Tight formation here. Two tight ends. And this one's going to go to Hill. It looks like he's got a bit of an edge.
Hill gets up to the 39, 5-yard gain. Make it 2nd and 13 now for the Philly offense.
Yeah, and for this Philly team, that's okay. I think that first down isn't the big issue here. You've got to make it from 2nd and long to 3rd and manageable. You've got to make it to a 3rd and 6, 7, 8 yards. And
he's gonna
comeback route. Did he come down with that?
No, he did not. I think that was to Arcega-Whiteside.
Arcega-Whiteside looking for him a lot today. But
tough catch there all the way, though. Casey Hayward, just beautiful coverage.
Great job of knocking that football out, and that's going to make it 3rd and 13. Keep an eye on Zach Ertz. Love to go to him in the big situations. Instead, it's going to go to Jeffrey on the left side. Somehow nobody's covering him.
Toe tap Jeffrey right there. Gets the 2 feet in. It's a first down.
That was just very easy first down.
Beautiful flood concept there. Left him wide open on the sideline.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been telling for this defense. Other than those 2 interceptions, you have 1 step forward and then 2 steps back. I mean, you've got him in 3rd and 13, looking like you might be getting the football back. Instead, you give up a first down on an easy out route. And first, for the 2nd time today, Ingram this time. Gonna
Melvin
get
Ingram
in on
in
the
with the
sack.
sack.
Loss of 11 yards. That'll make it 2nd and 21 now. I honestly expect to see a run come out here.
Yeah, just try and make it a third and more manageable.
I don't know a lot of offenses that have a 21-yard play.
And
Wentz just sitting
has
back
that.
there, nothing in the
Wentz having
vicinity.
all the time in the
Gonna
world.
try and throw it deep.
And Gibson gets the catch.
All that running around, I'm kind of surprised that nobody tried to come. Like, you've got 3 guys in the area. I'm really surprised that nobody tried to rush
Go for
Carson Wentz. I mean, you only need one to spy.
Took Gibson long enough, but good awareness, I guess, to come back to the quarterback and get your team a first down. That's a catastrophic failure right there for the Chargers. Someone's got to rush Carson.
And this one's
Gonna
going
be
to
a
go to
stretch
Brooks on
play
the
to Brooks, and
outside.
he's got the edge.
Oh, not able to cut back in against the 2 guys.
And you got an injury now. I think it's Zach McClain holding. Looks like he'd be holding towards the pelvis.
Yeah, pelvis, right hip area. So hopefully he's going to be okay. I'll bring up first down. Play action here. For Wentz.
Wentz trying to run. I think he's going to take it for himself, and he's just going to dive.
I believe he might have gotten the first down on the dive. He will. Up to the 4-yard line.
And we're going to report that it's a bruised ribs there. He will be, he's pretty sure he will be back.
Yeah, chance we don't see him. Depends on the severity. He will more than likely be back next week, though. And Wentz.
Low pass for the curl, and that just hits the turf on the edge.
Yeah, if that corner's looking, that's a 3rd interception on the night.
Their red zone interception at that. The amount of points that Philly has left off the board just in the second half is mesmerizing.
2nd down and goal. They're going to turn around and hand it off to the running back. He's going to get stuffed. I believe he
got it up
actually lost yardage.
Lost 2 yards right there. I honestly
they're going to give him forward progress at the 6-yard line as he
they would mark them down at
he breaks one tackle, gets hit again. For those of you that don't know in Madden, if you break one tackle and then get hit again, wherever you got hit from the 2nd tackle is where you get marked down for forward progress. So 3rd down and goal, 5 wide from the 6. And looking deep for Ertz in the back of the end zone. Don't know how. You don't have anyone around him.
That's just the Wentz-Ertz connection right there. No one's around Ertz, and Wentz just delivered a beautiful pass. Yeah, to extend this 10-point lead now with 4 minutes left in the 4th now. If you're going to charge offense, quick scoring drive here.
And that's what they've been good at. Like I said earlier, they have not been able to sustain a long drive yet. So you want to get it, you've got to have a quick drive, quick score, and then have your defense step up. They can do that. It's just, it's going to be a big if for everything to fall into place. Owens drops back to pass now.
And
going to look for Stills over the right side. Falls incomplete.
Stills, the cover. I think that was coverage by Avonte Maddox.
Avonte Maddox finally showing what he's made of. Able to knock that one away. He's been picked on a lot today, but this time he's able to knock that one out.
Now we have 2nd and 10 here. Mullins drops back the pass, and he's gonna go on the run to Mike, which almost was picked off.
A risky throw looking for Williams. Both players had their hands on the ball. Gonna fall innocently incomplete though.
I say the coverage was by Quandre Diggs.
Is it Quandre or Trayvon?
I think it might be Trayvon the Quan.
I know that
Coverage by
Trayvon
Diggs.
Diggs is on their team.
It was Trayvon Diggs.
Either way, Mullins drops back and gets sacked almost immediately.
Fletcher Cox, big third sack of the game now.
Just bullies the center and comes up with it.
You're the Chargers offense here. It's like, yeah, you gotta go for this.
I wouldn't say
Fourth
you
and
have
16.
to. If you trust your defense enough to maybe come down with something, you're gonna have the ball with just about 2-ish minutes left on the clock. So it's a big risk to try something.
All right, 4th and 16.
Got
See,
back, looked deep left,
and
fired way out of
way out of
bounds.
bounds.
Looking for
Mullins sailed it. Now, I don't want to call this too early, but I think that's safe to say that might be the dagger.
and there's a chance that this is GG.
It just depends on how the Philly offense plays here. If a turnover happens, not. But I think if Philly even gets a field goal here, that's wrapped up. That's the game.
I don't think about a field goal. I mean, field goal makes it 13. Still 2 touchdowns. So I think that a touchdown is the dagger. But it all depends on what this defense is able to do and what this offense would do if they do get to come back out.
If I'm Philly though, I don't even try for the touchdown. I just run the ball and try and run as much time off the clock as I can.
And they're going to force LA to call all of their timeouts right now.
Oh yeah, that's a risky though, especially when you have the 2-minute warning to come. Oh, Wentz dropping back to pass.
Has his man over the middle. Easy catch.
And Ertz is gonna fight all the way to the 1.
Looked like he might go in there instead. Gonna come down at the 1-yard line.
I've honestly thought that I thought Ertz was gonna pass the plane right there, but mark him down at the 1 end. That's a big play you gave up right there for the LAD. And Philly just winding down some clock here in goal line formation, and that's just straight up the.
And just shy still.
How about a half yard, half a foot maybe away from the end zone now.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think it's not too terrible that you do
not make the touchdown.
Yeah,
Allows you to get more time off the clock.
You can maybe get one more play in before the 2-minute warning. If not, be short again, then have the 2-minute warning and get to call a play afterwards. Once now in goal line again.
Hands it off
one more time, and it's gonna get stuffed.
Net in the backfield. I think that might have been Jason Tillery, or no, Jonathan Hankins on the tackle.
That's gonna bring up 3rd and goal. I have to imagine that this is gonna be a pass. If it's a run and it's short, LA is going to call a timeout. Ball on the 4, you haven't really been running the ball that well in these past 2 times.
I think we're seeing another run here from Philly just by the goal line formation. And it is
a run attempt, but it's going to be short.
Oh, and Desmond King tries to strip the ball out. That could have been big if they would have got the ball out.
Also, almost gave him the touchdown on that. Either way, now you've got 154. Gonna be a 2-possession game.
No timeouts for LA. It's gonna be a 13-point game now, and
you gotta score. Gotta score quick. Gotta get an onside kick. Just so much has to go right.
I think honestly, if you don't get the onside kick there, that's the game. You have no timeouts left, and they can just nail the ball out. Let's see how the Chargers OC decides to hand pass rush now. Multiple sacks have just ruined some of the drives that Chargers had going.
And if I'm not mistaken, Fletcher Cox and Malik Jackson will be checking out of this game, so I think that they're going to be prioritizing health
over stats. Yeah. Which good play because you have big games coming up.
The out route to Allen
Uh,
here does not get out
Al-
of bounds, so that's going to be big.
Good tackle by LeBlanc there to keep him in bounds.
And
He's gonna snap it in.
Owens drops back again, looking down deep
He's
to the
gonna
right.
drop it.
Way too deep, and it's
Ball
intercepted. Xavier
intercepted by
McKinney,
McKinney.
the
That's
first round pick
that's
2 years ago in 2020. And that's going to be ball game. Minute 25 left on this clock. And Philly's just going to have a couple of kneel downs before ending this game. Only turnover that LA had, but it's going to be a big one. And
all right.
I think that the telltale of this game was just lack of production on offense. LA, if you look at the stat line, LA's offense wasn't stagnant. But if you watch the game, you saw that they had maybe 4 or 5 big plays that got them their touchdowns. They didn't really have a sustained drive. They maybe had one. Maybe. But it was all just a big run out of Melvin Gordon that sprung free here, a big run that sprung there.
And so, what are your takeaways from this game with both teams?
I mean, it's looking. Bosa was out right now as he's actually being investigated for a suspension. So I believe their team is going to hand out a suspension for right now and hope that the NFL is not too heavy on them whenever they come down for a decision.
Bosa's got to start showing up to those mandatory team meetings, man.
So everything that I've seen looks like it's going to be about 2, maybe 3 games. I believe it's 2 games that he's going to be sitting out. So with him being gone and with losing Will Greer, your leader, you don't have the toughest of schedules coming in, but you do have a divisional game against the Broncos, which you will be missing him on. I want to get a quick pull-up of this LA schedule. You have the Dolphins in week 9.
That's I would say that is a definitely gonna be a not I would say definitely a tough game, especially without Will Greer and Joey.
And then you have the Chiefs, who I think you'll be okay in that one. Broncos, you should get Bosa back, but you're not going to have Greer. Giants, same situation. And then I believe he comes back for their Week 13 date with the Raiders. So you'll at least be getting Will Greer back about for the last push towards the playoffs. But
With
you,
that loss,
you,
though,
I mean, you're 6-2 or 5-2. Sorry, now. You'll be 5-2. There's a chance that you're sitting at 5-3, 5-4 whenever he, well, not 5-4, 6-4, 7-4 ish, whenever he comes back in week 13. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to win this West. I think a 12-win season will be enough to win a wild card spot. I think there's a good chance of that. With the AFC South teams and the Jags and the Colts both looking really good, though, it's going to be a question of who's going to come out there. So I think that whoever is second place in the AFC West probably gets a wild card spot. Whoever's second place in the South probably gets a wild card spot. Maybe the Raiders are able to stick around. I think they've got a fairly tough schedule coming up. Well, not week 8. You play the Ravens, but you get the Ravens and the Giants, and you follow that with week 10 against the Browns. You have to show up against that one. You have to show up in your divisional game against the Broncos. I think the Raiders are all going to come down to they have to beat the Browns, they have to beat the Broncos, and they have to pull at least one game against the Chargers if they want a shot at the playoffs.
especially with, I mean, I would expect, especially after the terrible. I think it was 1-15 the 1-14 in one season. That I mean, Raiders are coming out hot with coming 4-2 now. The Chargers do fall to second in the AFC West with that loss. Now only one game ahead of the Raiders, and I think they are.
Raiders
I want
are on a bye week this week, so they will stay a half game ahead of of the Raiders.
and the Broncos now only having a half game lead in front of the Chargers, if I'm
No,
right.
the Broncos will have a
Is it a half game or a full game? Because the
it'll be a
Chargers.
full game.
Okay,
Broncos are
because let's
sitting
make
at
it.
6-1. Broncos are sitting at 6-1 right now, whereas the Chargers are sitting at
Uh,
5-2.
the Broncos are 5-1 because they did have their bye week last week.
Did they? I thought they were.
They had their bye week last week. They just played. They did just beat the Redskins this week to go to 5-1.
Okay, so
So
they
the
are at 5-1. So yeah, it'll be a half game lead for the Broncos over the Chargers and a
Chargers.
full game lead over the Oakland Raiders. Broncos have a big game coming up, week 8. They host Philly. That'll be a good one. We should be bringing that to you tomorrow, not tomorrow, but next week with the doubleheader for week 8. Uh, while I got you here, I do want to really quickly look at. We're almost at the halfway point of this season. Next week being week 8, of course.
Hmm?
Um, with the way that everything is looking right now, who are your playoff teams?
Let me go
I'm
take
not
a
gonna make
quick.
I'm not gonna make you guess seeding because I think that'll be way too hard. If you want to try and guess bye week teams, you can, but
I think our playoff teams here are gonna be the. I think on with the way the Colts have come out. I think the Colts. I'm gonna take. I'm not gonna take seeding. But I'm gonna guess bye weeks. I think the Colts are definitely gonna have a first round bye, and then along with I think the Miami Dolphins are gonna have a first round bye with the third and with the other playoff teams being the Denver Broncos, the Chargers, with just edging out over the Raiders for the wild card spot, and the Jaguars and the Browns being the other playoff teams.
yeah, I'll agree with that. I do have a little bit of discrepancy as far as seeding is concerned. I think it all depends. For this Browns team, it's all going to depend on the back half of the season. They have a very cushy uh, start to the season. Their real season doesn't start until probably about week 13. You've got, um, you've got the Jags week 9, Raiders week 10. Those will be good, but you all played 4 games through 11, 12 weeks. Week 13, you start the heavy hitters. You've got the Packers. You go to Green Bay. Uh, then you go to Baltimore. You play. You um, bring the Broncos to your house. You go to Chicago, and then you close out with the Steelers. So that's what, 1, 2, 3 tough games in a 4-week span. Uh, I think that if the Browns are able to win 2 of those games, I think that they're able to come out with a bye. If
It's
they
just
drop,
all depends
if they only
on.
drop one, and if one of those is if one of those is the Broncos, I do believe that the Browns come in with the bye because they're sitting at 4-1 right now. You've got the Ravens who are sitting at 1-5. That should be a win, followed by the Bengals. That should be a win. You should be sitting at 6-1 come the midway point. Uh, it all depends what's going to happen week 9 and week 10. Your defense showed up last year against the Jaguars. It's just your offense was a little bit stagnant. You were trying to make too many big plays happen. Try and do a bit of shock and awe. It didn't work. So hopefully they will have learned from that. But I don't know. I think that I have not looked at the Colts schedule. I think that whoever comes out of the Colts Jaguars week second meeting is going to have a
If,
bye week.
yeah,
That'll be week 11. I
for a
think
lot
whoever
of
comes
these,
out of that is going to have a bye, and then uh, personally, I think whoever comes out of Broncos Browns is going to have a bye.
I could see it. It just all depends for a lot of these teams. It just all depends on how they play on the second half of their schedule. I know for like you said, with touched on with the Browns, the Broncos had a fairly easy schedule coming because their first four games dropping over 40 points and then not even worrying about showing up. I guess the ego got to them. Raiders game going into the bye and then having an ugly game against the Redskins. It's just they have a tough schedule coming up with the like you said the defending Super Bowl champs coming to their turf in Mile High. And they have the they're going to Foxborough. They did tie the Patriots last year in week 16. And they have Cowboys coming in, and I think the battle for the AFC West is all going to come down to how these Broncos Chargers matchups have come down end up in.
And I will agree with you that more than likely the Dolphins do come out of the East. I don't see them getting a bye just because you have to play the Chargers week 9. Uh, you play the Falcons week 11, and while they're a bit turnover happy, the Dolphins have been a bit turnover happy too. So I don't see the fact that our defense can get interceptions is going to be that big of a plus against the Falcons. And you have the Bucks week 15, you have the Jags week 16. I just think that, especially with them having or there's a good chance that if it comes down to a tiebreaker with the Colts, you've got a 3-point loss to the Colts week 2. If it comes down to a tiebreaker with the Browns, you got a 10-point loss to the Browns in week 5. Week 9, if the Chargers are able to make a comeback and take the West, and it comes down to a tiebreaker in the West, are you going to have that win in the West against the Chargers? I think that there's just too many. You've missed out on your tiebreakers, and I don't quite see them having the schedule to be outright over uh, some of these teams that could be coming out of the other divisions.
All right, yeah, it was a great game that we had watched. Definitely a very eventful second half. It was great being on here.
It is, and we will be back come next week with a doubleheader between the Colts and the 49ers, as well as the Eagles and Broncos. So stay tuned for that. I've once again been Brainiac, joined with Wiz, and we will see y'all later.
Signing off.